Dementia is a general term for the symptoms of diseases that affect memory, thinking, and social abilities severely enough to interfere with daily functioning. The most common cause of dementia is Alzheimer's disease, which accounts for 60 to 80% of cases. However, recent studies have shown that this is not always the case. People with dementia often have trouble remembering things that happened recently, or remembering where they are or how they got there. People with dementia may struggle to cook meals, pay bills, or complete other routine tasks that they used to find easy to do. People with dementia may become more irritable, anxious, or depressed. If you're having trouble finding the right words to express yourself, you could be experiencing the early signs of dementia. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to coordinate your movements and stay balanced. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to make sound judgments and decisions. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to keep track of your surroundings. People with dementia may have trouble remembering where they are, or how they got there. They may also have trouble navigating familiar environments. This is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for spatial awareness and navigation. Are you constantly feeling tired and needing to take naps during the day? As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to maintain a sexual relationship. People with dementia may have trouble communicating their needs or may not be interested in sex. Early diagnosis and treatment can make a big difference in managing dementia and improving quality of life. Do you know of any other early signs of dementia? Let us know in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like and share it with others. Thanks for watching. They may also have trouble getting or maintaining an erection or experiencing orgasm. These changes are due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for sexual function. You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to sleep at night. People with dementia may have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. They may also experience sundoning, which is a period of increased agitation and confusion that occurs in the late afternoon or evening. These changes in sleep patterns are due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for regulating sleep. In the later stages of dementia, people may become completely disoriented and may not know where they are or who you are. People with dementia may have trouble understanding the consequences of their actions or may not be able to think clearly enough to make good choices. Are you finding yourself wanting to spend more time alone and avoiding social situations? You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to interact with others. People with dementia may have trouble remembering people's names or faces. They may also become socially inappropriate or may not be interested in socializing. This social withdrawal is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for social cognition and interaction. This is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for executive functioning. In the later stages of dementia, people may become completely incapable of making any decisions for themselves and may need to rely on others to make decisions on their behalf. This is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for motor control. People with dementia may also experience other physical symptoms, such as muscle stiffness, tremors, or involuntary movements. Have you noticed changes in your appetite and weight lately? You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to engage in the things that you once enjoyed. People with dementia may have trouble remembering how to play a game, or may not be interested in participating in activities. They may also have trouble concentrating on tasks, or may become easily distracted. This lack of interest in hobbies and activities is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for pleasure and reward. You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to eat and drink. People with dementia may have trouble preparing meals, or may not remember to eat or drink regularly. They may also have trouble swallowing. These changes can lead to malnutrition and dehydration. This can lead to significant weight loss. In the later stages of dementia, people may become completely unable to feed themselves and may need to be tube-fed. In the later stages of dementia, people may become completely unable to walk and may need to use a wheelchair or walker to get around. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to find the right words to say. People with dementia may also have trouble understanding written or spoken language. They may have difficulty reading or following directions. In the later stages of dementia, people may completely lose the ability to communicate verbally. Instead, they may communicate non-verbally through gestures or facial expressions. Trouble with language is due to the fact that dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for language processing. They may also become confused or paranoid. These changes occur because dementia affects the parts of the brain responsible for regulating emotions and behavior. In addition, people with dementia may become socially inappropriate and say things that are out of context or offensive. They may also become agitated or violent and may lash out physically or verbally. It's important to note that changes in mood and personality can also be caused by other factors, such as depression or another mental health condition.
However,
If you or a loved one is experiencing these symptoms, it's important to seek professional help. They may also have trouble following recipes or remembering the steps involved in a familiar task. For example, you might forget how to bake your famous chocolate chip cookies. This difficulty performing familiar tasks is due to the fact that dementia affects both memory and executive functioning skills. As the disease progresses, it can become more and more challenging to remember how to do even the simplest tasks. In the later stages of dementia, people may need help from others to perform basic activities of daily living, such as bathing and dressing. They may also have trouble following conversations or completing tasks that require several steps. This confusion can be very frustrating for the person suffering from it, as well as for their family and friends. It's important to note that everyone forgets things from time to time, and having a momentary lapse in memory does not mean that someone has dementia. However, if you or a loved one is experiencing frequent and severe memory loss, it's important to seek professional help. There are several early signs of dementia that you should never ignore, because they may be warning signs of something more serious going on in your brain. If you notice any of these early signs of dementia in yourself or a loved one, it's important to see a doctor right away. Early diagnosis and treatment can make a big difference in managing dementia and improving quality of life. So let's take a look at 12 early signs of dementia you should never ignore. Other causes include vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal dementia, and mixed dementia. For a long time, dementia was thought to be an inevitable part of growing old. No, memory loss and confusion. Memory loss is one of the most common early signs of dementia. Number 2, difficulty with familiar tasks. As dementia progresses, it can become increasingly difficult to perform everyday tasks. No, 3, changes in mood and personality. Another sign that someone may be developing dementia is a noticeable change in mood or personality. No. 4, trouble with language. No. 5, difficulty with coordination and balance. If you're having trouble walking or staying balanced, you may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. No. 6, problems with judgment and decision-making. Have you ever found yourself questioning your judgment or decision-making abilities? You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. No. 7, getting lost or disoriented. Are you easily getting lost or disoriented? You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. No. 8, changes in appetite and weight. No. 9, losing interest in hobbies and activities. Is it becoming more difficult to enjoy your hobbies and activities? Number 10, a need for sleep during the day. No. 11, changes in sexual desire. Have you noticed any changes in your sexual desire or performance? You may be experiencing the early signs of dementia. Number 12, social withdrawal. If you notice any of these signs in yourself or a loved one, it's important to see a doctor right away. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.